A stark warning from Russia's foreign minister about the expanding threat of terrorism and global conflict.
The
situation in the world is not becoming more stable or predictable, rather the opposite. In front of our eyes, we see the tension on both global and regional levels is on the rise.
As if to underscore the point, Israeli missiles hit a suspected Iranian arms depot in Damascus, just hours after Lavrov and Israel's defense minister met at the annual Moscow Conference on International Security. Those airstrikes also symbolize the complicated nature of the Russian-Israeli relationship, says analyst Alexei Malyshenko via Skype.
Russia is playing a very difficult game between Israel and Iran. It creates some problem, but anyway, I think that similar situation will continue. So Russia will keep the normal relations with both countries.
Russia says it wants a global alliance against terrorists and is fighting them in Syria, just like a U.S.-led Western alliance has been doing. But Western and Arab states say Russia is defending Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and blame him for a chemical attack on civilians that Moscow and Damascus blame on Syrian rebels. The Western alliance wants Assad out of power, but the Kremlin fears losing its ally in Damascus would mean losing regional influence.
Maybe the problem of Bashar al-Assad, its presidency, is the most painful problem for Kremlin, because indeed it has to be replaced, and Putin and in Kremlin, they understand it, that's no doubt. But anyway, by whom it's possible to replace him? Who will come instead of him? This is a problem.
Another problem, according to Russia's defense minister, NATO's gradual expansion into Eastern Europe.
NATO is a military and political bloc and not a group of stamp collectors. It follows a course of projecting its power and bringing more and more states into its orbit.
United States fighter jets this week arrived in Estonia and British Typhoon jets in Romania as NATO reassures members concerned about Russian aggression. Russia says Montenegro's imminent membership in NATO will strengthen the Western Defense Alliance's control over the Balkans. Opponents of the move fear a clash with Russia. Trust is almost completely eroded between NATO and the Kremlin, says analyst Peter Topichkanov via Skype.
It's all started from Yugoslavia in 1990s, but then Georgia war, NATO extension, missile defense program of the United States and NATO, and of course the most recent and the most important thing was the Crimea annexation by Russia.
On East Asia, President Vladimir Putin and visiting Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe discussed North Korea's nuclear program. Russia agrees to pressure Pyongyang to give up its nuclear ambitions, but only through the United Nations Security Council. Daniel Schearf, VOA News, Moscow.